Talking about today, we are talking about RC passages. And why are we talking about RC passages? Because they form two-thirds of your VRC section in CAT. So what we have done is we've picked up some important genres for you. How have we picked them up? Based on what has appeared in your previous year CAT papers. Right. So we went through your CAT papers. We saw that sociology and anthropology are two genres that have appeared quite often in various papers. Okay, pick up papers from 2017. Okay, CAT papers are available from 2017, and you would find sociology and anthropology based passages there. Okay, so that is why we have such passages today. So, what exactly is sociology? I think it's important to establish what is sociology, what is anthropology before I actually, throw you into those passages. What do you understand by this term, sociology? Tell me. Waiting for your response. Associate active meaning, Nihal? The study of human society. Okay, in what sense? Why are we studying the human society? In what sense are we studying it? We are studying to find out the kind of social structures that existed, the kind of relationships that existed in the society, the social movements that happened, the changes that happened in the society. We are studying all of this when we study sociology. Okay, so yes, you're right. It's the study of human societies, social relationships, social structures, and how people behaved as a society. Right? This is what sociology concerns itself with. Also, it concerns itself with social problems, right? So let's say illiteracy, poverty, all these social problems, they also come in the ambit of sociology, right? Okay, so it's a very vast topic, sometimes students are not even able to identify that, okay, this passage belongs to the genre of sociology. So always remember, when the focus is on not an individual human beings but on human beings as a society, as a, let's say, collectivity, then, and we're studying their behavior, their relationships, that is when it is going to be a sociology passage. Now a lot of things come under this. Okay, so what all are the topics covered under it? When I talk about race, that is covered under sociology. Nationality, ethnicity, mass media also, because see, media is something that addresses the society, right? It converses with the society, it presents things to the society. So mass media, all forms of media, they also fall under the ambit of sociology. So if you get an RC passage that talks about the ill effects of social media for teenagers today, that is actually a sociology based passage, right? Along with also talking about technology. Then culture. Okay, so of course, culture has to be covered in sociology, isn't it? So culture, especially the culture of the youth of the day, right? Gender, sexuality, covered under sociology, right? Because again, gender is something that is not just individual, right? It is also defined, it is also shaped by the society of the day, right? Social movements, cults, clans, communities, class conflicts, inequalities, social inequalities, they come under sociology. As I said, social problems. Consumerism, because see, as a society today, we have become more consumerist. What is consumerism? And the unit of the family, because family is also a microcosm of the society, isn't it? We interact with each other in a family. Okay, it's a collectivity. That is why. So cults are these closed groups that do not easily admit other members and they indulge in a particular activity. It has a negative connotation. Okay, it has a negative connotation to it. So you would not call a positive productive group to be a cult. So, for instance, read about this clan called the Ku Klux Klan, and that will give you a definition of a cult. It was a white supremacist clan that believed in the supremacy of white people over black people, and it indulged in atrocities on black people. Right? So, it was a cult. Then there are neo-Nazis. You can also read about neo-Nazis. So neo-Nazis, they are also a cult. I mean, at places there have been cults comprising of neo-Nazis, right? Okay. So all these topics are covered under sociology. Now, the next one, anthropology. What is anthropology? The name itself, I think, is pretty evident. Sorry. So the name is evident of the meaning. Yes. Anthropos. Logy. Break it. So actually, students are confused between sociology and anthropology. They say, see, in sociology also we are studying human beings ultimately, and in anthropology also we are doing the same. So why are they two different disciplines? Because here the focus is more individual in nature. Also, the focus is on their origin. How did human beings come about? Who were our ancestors? Neanderthals, Homo sapiens, okay, Homo erectus. We talk about all of these when we talk about anthropology. We talk about evolution, right? How we evolved from apes or from the earliest marine mammals or whatever. Then the cultural variations that happened over time. This is what anthropology concerns itself with. The focus of attention is not a society but a human being, right? And that is the difference. Also, while sociology is a pure social science, it's completely a social science, just like our history, geography, civics. Anthropology is a mix of natural science and social science. Okay, because when we talk about evolution, that falls under the ambit of biology, right? Whereas if I talk about cultural variations, cultural anthropology will be more on the side of the social science, right? So, I'm sorry, this has to be anthropology. So, anthropology comprises natural science elements also, your science, biology, physics elements also, and it comprises social science elements also, linguistic anthropology, archaeology, when we excavate things and we find out about human past, cultural anthropology, studying about various cultures, let's say how the Vikings behaved, right? How the Mayan society behaved. So, cultural anthropology. Linguistic, how language has evolved over time. That is linguistic anthropology. Ah, okay. Excellent. Yes, Nihal. Correct. I'm happy that you applied the Norman Louis understanding here. Okay. So I hope this is clear to you exactly what these two genres are. It's important to understand what falls under these genres before actually attempting passages on them. So today we are going to attempt two RC passages. One is on relatively on the easier side. The other is slightly more abstract, but again, if you understand it, it's not difficult, right? So let's look at the first RC, the easier one. Okay, I want you to read. So there's one paragraph on one slide. Once you finish it, you have to tell me. I'll move to the next slide. Okay, let's begin. Done. Perfect. Let's go to the next slide. Done. Others as well. Okay, going to the next slide. Good. So what happens when it disappears? Let's see. Done. Good. Let me know once you finish. This is the last slide. Perfect. So easy read. Yes, the words were easy. The topic was relatable. Let's have a look at the questions. Even they are easy. Okay. So this is your first question. Tell me, what is the central idea of this passage? The main message of the passage. What do you say? Waiting, waiting, waiting. Virendra says C. All right. Others. Pratyusha also says C. Okay. Nishant says C. So, absolutely correct, all of you. C is the answer because throughout the passage, the stress is on this fact that we used to do this in malls, we used to do that in malls, we used to gather in malls, we used to it had something for everyone. And then look at how it ends the passage. In fact, the last paragraph holds a very major clue to answering the first question, right? That today we actually don't spend that kind of time, in a mall. Today it has been replaced with second jobs, busier lives, apps, right? So they were built for patterns of social interaction. Malls were built for patterns of social interaction that increasingly don't exist, right? So that is why they are closing down. Absolutely correct. C is the answer. D says they because people have found alternate ways to shop. This is not the only reason. See, people didn't come to a mall just to shop. Okay, it is said that it was a place where you came for leisure, where you went on blind dates, where a goth and a grandmother could both somehow go and find something that they liked. So it was not just for shopping, right? So eliminated. Okay, let's have a look at the second question. Read the options and then we can go to para 1. Okay, let's go. Actually, you've already answered some of you. Okay. C, D, B. What else? D. Okay. Let's have a look at the paragraph itself. Okay, so we need to go back here. I'm not saying that we absolutely need to. In case you remember in which context it was said, you don't need to. But I think it would be better, right? So let's have a look at para 1. And here we talk about uh, this year alone, more than 8,600 stores could close, according to industry estimates. Many of them, the brand name anchor outlets that real estate developers once stumbled over themselves to quote. Right? So they once stumbled over themselves to quote these outlets. What does it mean to quote someone or to quote something? To quote someone or something. Yes, it means to woo them, to persuade them. So it's used in relationships usually. Okay, if let's say a person is courting another person, they are trying to woo them, they're trying to impress them so that they become engaged to them or they get into a relationship with them, right? So earlier real estate developers were trying to court such outlets. Once they stumbled over themselves. They would even they would do anything. They were falling, right, to court them. But today that's not happening, right? So what does this phrase that real estate developers stumbled over themselves to quote imply? Yes, this is anchor, not hanger. This is a typo here. Took brand name anchor outlets to court? No. This quote does not mean the courtroom wala quote. Then They are closing down because people have found alternate ways to shop. We just said that this is false. For the previous question, we just said that this one is not just the case, right? D said collaborated with one another. Are they collaborating with one another? When I say stumbled over themselves, that does not mean that real estate developers were collaborating with each other. So even this is incorrect. The answer is B, Bangalore. That earlier they were pursuing brand name anchor outlets. They were, persuading them to buy a property with them, with a particular real estate developer. Now they are no longer wooing them. So B, Bangalore is the answer here. Make sense? Yes. So I think Anjula answered correctly because others were marking A, C, D. I thought it's better to go back. All right. Let's have a look at question 3. Let's see what you say. Very passive class today. What has happened? Yes. Okay. What else? I want more responses. Okay. Pratyusha says D. Virendra says A. Angela D. Saket D. Okay. It's A versus D. I can see that. Others. Okay. All right. So, the massive distribution centers Amazon has opened across the country. Often not too far from malls, the company helped shutter. Shutter means close, right? So, Amazon has opened its distribution centers, often not very far from the malls that it helped close. Why is the author stating this? Yes. Is it to indicate the shopping habits of the to indicate that the shopping habits of the American middle class have changed? Is that the purpose? Why am I highlighting this distance? Yes, often not too far from the malls that they helped close down. This is not to indicate that the shopping habits have changed. Other sentences in the paragraph, in the passage, are indicating that. This is just to highlight how the unexpected has happened. Okay, to highlight the unexpected nature of this. That once there was a mall there, and now this has closed, and very near this mall, Amazon's distribution center has opened, and Amazon itself helped in closing. It actually brought about the closure of these malls. So it's highlighting the irony of the situation. What is irony? Irony means that when something that is expected does not happen, rather something the opposite of it or unexpected happens to create an amusing effect. It's amusing, no, that you helped close this mall and then you opened your own shop very near it, right? Just like there's a student, let's say, who stays very near the school but is always late to school. So it's amusing, it's unexpected. This is irony. So A is the answer here. Good. Those who said A. Arjun says C. It is helping certain brands go online. No, this has in fact not discussed anywhere in the passage that it is helping certain brands go online. Okay. Amazon has not been the point of focus as such. Okay, so this was our first RC passage. It was easy. Yes. Yes, absolutely, Virendra. A tobacco company constructing cancer hospitals. Correct, correct. This is irony. So this was your first passage. Easy passage it was. It highlighted the social function of malls, right? And that's why it belonged to sociology. We'll do another passage now. Again, read it carefully. If something is not clear, ask me, and then we'll practice questions based on it. Okay. All right. So here's your first paragraph. It's a long paragraph. So focus on understanding rather than focusing on speed. Okay. All right. Good, Rohit. Others? Sonali is also completed. I'm going to the next slide. That's it. This is the last slide. Good, Sneha. Let me know once you finish. Okay, good. Anything that is not clear, any word whose meaning is not clear, you want to ask? Okay, then let's see the first question. So, this is your first question. It's a further application question. According to the passage, who can be best categorized as a public person? based on the passage. Yes. Who can be best categorized as a public person? Have you read the options? Okay. I've even got one response. Let's just quickly check the definition of a public person, right? Or what is public action. So it's the second paragraph that actually helps us in answering this question. So Erin tells us that public action is action in which we stand out, are individuated, become in some way excellent in a manner that is of service to others and a greater good. This is the space where we take risks, subject our common life to scrutiny, seek justice, in order to be increasingly open to the claims and needs of other humans, ones who are not our household and our kin and our relatives. Okay, so, all right, I've got A, B. Virendra says all seem correct, but Virendra, based on what I just read, so I think B can be very easily eliminated, isn't it? The parent is doing something for their own child. So we can't say this is basically doing something for your own household or for your own kin. It is not public action. So B is easily eliminated. Then looking at C and D, see an NGO employee, again, it's the NGO employee's job. He was tasked to do this. He was given this responsibility. He is not doing something out of his own for the greater good of others. Okay, he's not, let's say, going above and beyond what he's been asked to do. So again eliminated. Similarly, a local politician may have some interest in unearthing that financial scam. Okay, it could be a personal interest in unearthing that financial scam. Also, it is considered a part of the job of a politician to ensure that to ensure good governance, isn't it? So they are not doing something that is, for the society out of this, motivation of doing good for others. Whereas this wildlife photographer, see, it's not his job to actually post pictures of migrants, but now going above and beyond. He is highlighting the plight of poverty stricken migrants by posting their pictures. So you are right. Those who said A is the answer. Okay, good. Those who said A, excellent. Now, question two. Now, I have just read the definition of public action for you, so I think this should be easy. But Shri, but a parent is doing this for their kid also, right? So that means the motivation for that came that some injustice was done to your kid. You feel that. Okay. Good, good, good. Correct. Nishant, Virendra, Pratyusha, Angela. Correct, correct, correct. Excellent. D is the answer here. Sorry, there was an option E also. I'm sorry. Okay. So, if option E were also there, would you get confused between D and E? Acting based on our conviction, regardless of what society thinks. So, this part is common here actually. Hmm. So, even if E is present, this does not state whether what we are doing it for the greater good or not. Whereas it's very clear in our paragraph that we are doing something for others, for humankind, for the greater good of others, right? So that's why D is still our answer. Okay? Correct, Virendra, correct. Okay, so my bad. Let me just, yes, five options. Let's see. The best reason for focusing on behavior instead of acting in public. So, why are we focusing on behavior rather than action in public? Okay, got one response. Others? All right, good. Do all of us say C? Or are there any other options also that can be the answers? Okay, E. Okay, Virendra says it should be E. The foundation of any vibrant society is based on cooperation and not confrontation. Does this match the stance of the passage? Does it match the tone of the passage? Does it match Arendt's views, Hannah Arendt's views that have been mentioned? In fact, Arendt fears, this person fears that we are conforming to the society. What does it mean to conform? To just abide by what others are doing. Okay, to toe the line, to abide by what others are doing, to comply with rules, accepted standards, etc. So, this goes against what the author, what actually Arendt is saying here. That Arendt is not saying that the foundation of any vibrant society is based on cooperation. It is rather based on public action, wherein you say something where you're individuated, you do something for the greater good. Eliminated this one. Correct. Those who said C, absolutely correct. C is the answer. B is a little distorted actually. Okay, so I understand some of you saying B, but it's not about our imperfect thoughts. The fear is that, we will not be accepted by the society if we do this, that we will be questioned by the society if we do this. So we want to be accepted by others. That's why we conform. Okay, so conformism, in that word lay the answer to this question. C is the answer. Okay, it came through elimination and it came through what is there in the passage, the stance of Hannah Arendt. Okay, is this clear to everyone? So you just did a ZAT passage, and if you got all the questions correct, then congratulations to you. Right, you should pat yourselves on the back because ZAT RC passages they are known to be slightly challenging, right? And if you interpreted it well, if you were able to understand it and able to attempt even 2 out of 3 questions correct, even that is good. So these were a couple of sociology passages that we saw today. And my suggestion to you would be that you should practice more such RCs. And I understand that you may not find genre-wise RCs. So what you can do instead is that you can read such articles. That is in your hands. No, you can find sociology and anthropology articles. You can find them in Eon. You can find them in this platform, on this platform, Smithsonian Mag. Okay, some brilliant sociology, anthropology articles. Then you can find it on various science websites also, like science.com, The New Scientist, etc. Okay, so read more such articles. That is in your hand. How should we perform? But to Uh, so, Virendra, the question, I think you're interpreting the question as uh, so the question itself is saying, why are we focusing on behavior rather than acting? Okay, so we are focusing on our behavior, the way we behave. We are not really acting because we want to be accepted by others. See this. This is there in the passage, the paragraph itself. Um, So, behavior. One of the things she fears about modern societies is that society focused on how we behave and what we will permit for ourselves and others becomes the realm of conformism. Okay, this is worrying not just because we don't really get vibrant societies out of conformism and sameness, but also there is a risk that we think this is all there is to living together. So we start thinking that living together means abiding by what others do. That's why we are very mindful of how we behave and we never really act out of let's say our motivation that we have to benefit others. We never act in a manner that we think would go against the society. We rather mind our behavior. Okay, so this is what we are doing. All right, we are managing our behavior rather than acting. Okay, so I hope this is clear to you. The summary of this passage, yes, what would be the summary of this passage? Two paragraphs. So what does the first paragraph focus on? Let's see. How would you summarize the first paragraph? Yes. So the first paragraph definitely gives Hannah Arendt's views, right? Arendt, as she has been called in this paragraph. And what are her views? Tell me. So her views are that in modern liberal societies, behavior replaces action as the foremost mode of human relationship. Okay. And therefore, we forget that our true public task is to act. So this actually sums up what what has been said in so many words in this paragraph. In all these words, she's trying to say that we tend to focus on our behavior because we want to be accepted by others, and in that process, we forget to act. We don't focus on acting. That's it. That one sentence is the key point of this paragraph. And then, what does she want us to do? She wants us to take public action. She wants us to be public actors and not just social actors, right? So, what does public action mean? Then she defines that. So, Arendt wants us to take public action. And what is public action? When we take risks, right? This is the definition of public action. So, if I have to summarize this passage gives Arendt's views on how, in modern liberal societies, behavior has replaced action, and that's why people have forgotten that their task is to act publicly. And Arendt wants us to act publicly, wants us to take public action, which she defines as taking risks for the greater good of others. That's it. That's the summary of this passage. Uh, Virendra, it means that in whichever way we are behaving to be accepted by others, right? So, if let's say we are behaving well, that is also in order to seek acceptance. This is what it means. Okay, so in case you want to see more such material, you want to see more such sessions, you want to see how we teach in our batches, then you can unlock your free trial. The link for this is pinned in the comment section in the chat box as well, right? So you can just click on that and you'll get access. Okay. And these are our CAT 22 toppers. By now, I think you remember their faces if you've been attending my sessions regularly. If you want to be one of them, you can join our comprehensive program. These are the details. The link for this is again in the description box. And as I said, that we always, our endeavor is to make our courses accessible. So that's why we keep launching these scholarship programs and we keep conducting these scholarship tests. So the next one is on 11th at 11 a.m. Let's see how you perform there. Yes, you can check your performance and it's definitely going to be easier than the actual CAT. This is our workshop. In case you want a month-wise focused plan, you want to save a lot of your planning effort, then you can attend this workshop on the 6th of June at 7 p.m. Saril sir will give you a month-wise plan. This is an ongoing series. I'm sure you know about this 500 most expected cat questions. So keep attending this. This will go on till cat, right? Thank you, Virendra. Thank you. And yes, we are everywhere on social media. Just follow us, right? And yes, you can download the app also for more material. All right, then, this is it from my end. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.